All right, hey everyone. You guys know the drill by now. April the 3rd, 2017. I always like to start off by showing a picture of Schaeffer Cox's mailing address. Encourage you to write to him directly if you have any questions. There's no reason why anybody can't write to him directly. He is still able to receive mail as far as I know, at least at this point. A letter came in today. Let me bring it up. All right, this is Schaeffer's return address. It's postmarked March the 31st. There's my home address that I put a post-it note over. And here we go. Wow, it's only March 29th. That's just, what, 3-4 days ago? 5 days ago, maybe. Schaeffer Cox, March the 29th, 2017. Rudy, here are my thoughts on Maria and a response I got about them limiting my mail. Also on the 27th, I got another write-up for running a business. That's insane. That's crazy. They say that me fighting my appeal counts as running a business because I'm telling people what to do. I may lose communication for a long time. That would be absolutely horrible if that happens. They know I'm not running any business. This is just their mind games to try and break me and protect AFL. Highly suspicious. We need to find out who is on this so-called board of directors. I bet it's Fed ran, and they are mad that I'm getting out from under it. What they are doing is highly illegal and needs to be one of our reasons that Trump should pardon me. I got your draft pastor's letter. It looks good. I'll add a little and send it back. Any word from Dr. Hovind on that? Dr. Hovind isn't able to communicate directly with Schaeffer because he's on probation himself, but Dr. Hovind did allow me to come on his program, his YouTube channel. He allowed me to talk about Schaeffer for 10 minutes. Unfortunately, the phone was terrible audio. Out there in Alabama, they don't get good reception. So, you know, Schaeffer just doesn't have visibility into all this. I'll have to take time and write him another letter so he's caught up to speed. If someone can take that press release that sums up my story and put links to corroborating articles and other proof, it will be a powerful tool for us. Keep up the good work. Pray I'll be blessed like King David. Love, Schaeffer. He goes on to write, please thank Gomez for $25 and Harrison for $100 on my commissary account. That's what keeps me fighting. I don't know who Gomez is, but Harrison is a girl from Canada. Thank you. I'm filing some FOI, Freedom of Information Act suits related to my case and a civil suit on this bogus running a business stuff. I'm also fighting to get my motion for contempt filed in the Colorado federal court over the write-up I got for talking to Pastor Drake. Let me read that last sentence again. I'm also fighting to get my motion for contempt filed in the Colorado federal court over the write-up I got for talking to Pastor Drake. All of this cost money to print, copy, file, and serve. So thanks for keeping me afloat. I see the printout you sent that the lockbox only takes money orders. Thanks. Yeah, he was asking if people could send personal checks, but I sent him a printout that says it only takes money orders. So that's the address if you want to send a money order to that address. You can also send it via Western Union. Right? Normally when I send money to Schaeffer Cox's commissary, I use Western Union. They've got an option to send money to an inmate, and all you need is their name and their number, 16179-006. Also, I send, Maria has been responding to publicly Facebook, and my wife captures these and sends them to me, and I print them out and mail them to Schaeffer, so Schaeffer knows what Maria is saying. You know, it would be ideal if Maria would communicate directly with Schaeffer, but that doesn't appear to be happening anymore. So what I'm doing is I'm taking Maria's public statements and I'm mailing it to Schaeffer so Schaeffer has a chance to respond. If Maria's going to respond publicly, Schaeffer needs to know what she's saying. So Maria wrote publicly on Facebook, it's all a matter of public record. The research establishes certain facts. Thank you, Doug Wu. Again, the Free FSC, Free Schaeffer Cox Project, was a specific project operated under and by AFL, Alaskans for Liberty. All monies did and do and continue to be spent in accordance with the laws of the states and the Federal Corporation, United States and USA Incorporated, and AFL bylaws, and not at the whim of anyone. Also, I am no longer lawfully able to speak on behalf of AFL. In fact, I was never its spokesperson. Also, please keep in mind AFL is a legal person, and not a man or woman. Frank Turney writes, Maria Patricia, you've turned into a spin doctor. Where is the press release explaining the 20 questions by Schaeffer Cox, just like the 9 Facebook juries? This is on the back of that same page. It's page 2. Let me see here. Oh, okay, let me read the post, and then we'll read Schaeffer's post in order. Okay, so then I guess Ray, she's responding to Ray, and then Maria says, just to remind you again that I am not involved with AFL and have no authority to share anything on behalf of AFL. Also, I agree with your premise about registering to raise money, but I didn't win that argument either. Free Schaeffer Cox was a project run by AFL. Schaeffer never had any say in what AFL did. He only had an interest in what the Free Schaeffer Cox project did, and only to a limited degree. Okay. Monica Savant says, so what is going on with the funds? Are they being held in trust or being used for other purposes? Frank Turney writes back, accountability of funds. So here's Schaeffer in response to what Maria is posting publicly. My thoughts on these posts. First of all, Maria has lied about the money so many times that I don't believe a word she says now. Maria's statements sound like the droning nonsense we would expect from Eric Holder or Michael Hayden when they are caught red-handed breaking the law, betraying their country, and screwing over humanity. Perhaps Maria technically resigned so she can dodge questions and give misleading, lawyerly answers, but she's still the architect of this whole mess, and she remains up to her elbows in it, and she's still covering for the secret directors. Second, she's still avoiding the main question, which is, why do you and your secret AFL board have the money in the first place? She's saying all the monies did, do, and continue to be spent in accordance with the laws of the states and the Federal Corporation, United States and USA Incorporated, and AFL bylaws, and not at the whim of any one. Claiming that you are spending the stolen money in a... Let me read that again. Claiming that you are spending the stolen money in accordance with AFL bylaws doesn't get you around the fact that you stole the money. Maria and AFL might have a leg to stand on if they could produce 20,000 donors who say they understood that when they sent Schaeffer Cox money to fight his appeal, that money was actually going to a secret organization called AFL to be spent in secret on something other than Schaeffer's appeal, and that Schaeffer never had any say in what the AFL did. He only had an He only had an interest in what the Free Schaeffer Cox project did, and only to a limited degree. I guarantee you will not find one single donor who intended to give money to AFL for their secret projects, and I certainly never gave away my defense fund to people who won't even identify themselves. So the only way Maria and her secret AFL board got the money was by fraud and theft. Maria and AFL need to give back the money right now if they want to stay out of jail, because the only way they can have the money is by theft or mail fraud, both of which are crimes. So don't give us this song and dance about did, do, and continue to be spent in accordance with the laws of the state, blah, blah, blah. Donors gave money to me for a specific purpose, not you for a secret purpose. Schaeffer Cox, 329 of 17. I think Schaeffer makes a very good point. I think he's always made a good point, and that's why I am doing what I'm doing as far as publishing his letters. I'm not the only one that can publish his letters, by the way. If you receive this and you want to mirror these videos, or you want the actual PDF file that I scanned, and you want to make your own YouTube video reading Schaeffer's letters, by all means do. Nobody is claiming to be a monopoly on the spokesperson for Schaeffer Cox. I am an advocate for Schaeffer Cox, and I hope to be one of many advocates, one of several 100,000 advocates. And if every YouTube on channel in the whole country started reading Schaeffer Cox letters, that would be wonderful with me, right? But I believe the man should not be silenced. I believe he has a good point. And what I've said from the very beginning is that Maria and the board should have communicated directly with Schaeffer, and of course they've told me, well, we did. It's like, well, you failed. You obviously failed, because he's having to look to other people, such as myself and other supporters, to read his letters publicly. There was another thing stuck down here. I guess this is the write-up. We're very concerned about this. They could use this to take away all of his communication. I have not read this yet. Let's read it together. Admin remedy number 894000-F1. I got a bug crawling across the screen. That's so funny. You guys don't see it because it doesn't record that. Anyway, this is in response to your administrative remedy received March the 6th, 2017, wherein you claim that you have been denied placement of 6 of 7 letters in the outgoing mail. You allege this is unconstitutional and against Bureau of Prisons policy. A review of your complaint indicates you are correct that you attempted to place 7 pieces of correspondence in the outgoing mail. These pieces of correspondence include 1 letter which was placed in a corresponding envelope which matched the intended recipient, and 6 photocopies of the same letter placed in envelopes addressed to other individuals. Program Statement 5214.02, Communications Management Unit, pages 8, states as follows: 540.203, Written Correspondence Limitations. A. General correspondence. General written correspondence, as identified by Part 540, may be limited to 6 pieces of paper, not larger than 8.5 by 11, double-sided, writing permitted once per calendar week, to and from single recipient at the discretion of the warden, as except as stated in C below. The correspondence is subject to staff inspection for contraband and for content. Accordingly, your request for administrative remedy is denied. In the event you are not satisfied with this response and wish to appeal, you may do so within 20 calendar days of this response by submitting a BP-23013 to the Regional Director, Federal Bureau of Prisons, North Central Regional Office, Gateway Complex, Tower 2, 8th floor, 400 State Avenue, Kansas City, Kansas, 66101-2492. And then you can see it's signed by the warden, B. True, warden, on March the 24th. You guys, and I think myself included, have no idea how hard it is for Schaeffer to get communications out of that prison, communication management prison. You guys have no idea how significant it is that the AFL board and Maria refused to open some of his letters or refused to receive some of his phone calls. It's an absolute miracle that we get anything at all, and they could stop it at any moment. And it's absolutely horrific that somebody would make the decision when Schaeffer goes through all the trouble, goes through all the policies, finally gets approval, he finally gets to reach out and touch, and speak to somebody or communicate with somebody that loves him and supports him, that you guys don't want to talk to him. You just send it back. Don't understand that whatsoever. And I, for one, as long as I'm getting correspondence from this man who is a prisoner of war, captured by the enemy, behind enemy lines, I'm going to put his message out there. And you know what? I think his message is right on target. And I think the AFL and Maria should, be trying to communicate with Schaeffer while we can communicate with Schaeffer. We don't know when they're going to cut off our communication. And it's absolutely horrific that the people have decided that they're no longer going to talk to Schaeffer. We need to be talking to him. We need to be communicating with him, and I hope we can work all this out. God bless every one of you.